My name is George Lugo, and on this video I am going to be talking about the health benefits of vitamin E. Now, vitamin E has so many significant health benefits that I am going to be referring from time to time to my notes to make sure that I've missed nothing, so that you get all the information that I have, because I believe it is that important. Now, I'll begin by saying that vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. That's one of the reasons, well, that's one of the products that I took when I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2011. A few months later, I decided I was going to take antioxidant vitamins and minerals, particularly vitamin C and E. And I did so, and that reduced my PSA number, and when I went for a biopsy, my cancer was gone. And I'll explain a little later in this video why vitamin E is significant in fighting cancer all by itself. But here's a list of some of the things. Well, first of all, I'd like to say I consider vitamin E to be the amazing vitamin. And I have here amazing information, because the information, or 95% of the information, or 90% of the information that I'm about to present is information that I read 30 years ago in the late 1980s. Yes, 30 years ago. So, and I'm amazed that this information is not being repeated, reported, or, for the health benefit of the public, of the U.S. public and the world public in general. But here it goes. Vitamin E boosts the immune system, which helps fight off the flu and bacterial diseases. A special note that vitamin E, being an antioxidant, just like vitamin C, that the immune system cells require more antioxidants than other cells in the body. So if you want to stay healthy and you want your immune system to be able to zap whatever bacteria, viruses, or whatever is going on in your body that's not supposed to be there, then or not supposed to be there in unhealthy amounts, then vitamin E is something that you should be taking extra of. E is key in the healthy formation of muscles, eyes, blood, lungs, and more. I began taking not just one vitamin E tablet of 400 I use, but I began taking very recently, just about a week ago or a couple days ago to a week, 2 vitamin E. And I even noticed the difference in the gym. When I went to the gym, I could go longer, stronger, and I didn't feel as, which I normally feel since I'm not a physical type person, I'm not a jock. I feel kind of beat up after I have finished a workout. But not when I've been doing extra vitamin E. Vitamin E strengthens your cardiovascular system. That means it can help prevent blood clots, which cause sudden heart attacks. It can help reduce the amount of arterial plaque buildup, so you don't have heart issues in the long run. And it does so by the following, and that is, vitamin E modifies blood fats, and for which protect against heart disease. It also prevents blood platelets from sticking together, which lowers the risk of blood clots. Vitamin E protects red blood cells from oxidative damage. That's because of its antioxidant properties. And one that surprised me, for I never connected vitamin E with HDL protein, which is the healthy cholesterol in the body, and that is vitamin E increases HDL cholesterol. It is also effective in reversing skin disorders, including acne. And one thing that I reread in that book that I have all this information in from back in the late 80s is that it's also good for athletes' feet. So I tried it because I've had a problem. I used to practice in the dojo with bare feet many, many years ago. And please, I don't want guys out there challenging me. I'm no Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee. I was doing it mainly for just to get some extra exercise and keep myself energized while I was in engineering school. And anyway, a couple of days ago I started using vitamin E, and that is the gel cap, the one that I can poke a hole in and squeeze out the vitamin E fluid, the liquid, and put it on my toes that were affected. And within days, my problem is going away. And I've had this problem since I was 20 years old. So that's 50 years I've had this problem, on and off. And I think vitamin E is working well. And again, so that's acne. It works well for acne, and it also works well for athletes' feet. It helps to heal wounds, make it easier for the body to heal wounds faster. I mean, this is just incredible stuff. The RDA, now listen to this. The RDA back then for vitamin E was 12 international units, or IUs. Today, it's around 22 IUs if it's the natural form of vitamin E, and 33 IUs if it's the synthetic form, or the stuff that's produced in a lab. 33 IUs of vitamin E. However, the researchers back in the late 1980s, which means the research took place even before then, all recommended that we should take from 100 to 600 IUs of vitamin E, and can even go as high as 800 IUs with no harmful effects to the body. Now, 800 IUs is 2 tablets, one each, 400 IUs, which is pretty easy to find at the pharmacy, your local pharmacy shelf. And so that may sound awfully high, 100 to 600, when the recommended dietary allowance is 22 to 33. But here are some good reasons for supplementing at the recommended 100 IUs. 1. Canned and processed foods lose from 65 to 95% of their vitamin E content. Nuts, dry roasted nuts, lose up to 25% of their vitamin E content. So if for any reason you're not getting enough from the foods that you eat, given that we depend today so highly on processed and fast food, I think that it's imperative that we have or take extra vitamin E for our health. Now, here are good reasons for supplementing at the higher recommended amounts. Now, this is, again, information that is over 30 years old. Lab rats fed a diet with vitamin E added were placed in ice water, and they were placed in ice water to simulate a high stress environment. Along with the rats that received no vitamin E in their diet. The lab rats that were fed vitamin E swam longer than the ones that were not fed vitamin E, and they have milder ulcers. I mean, throw me in ice water for any lengthy period of time and ask me to swim or sink, and I'm going to get ulcers too. But I can count on having vitamin E in my diet that the ulcers would be milder, and I'm sure would go away pretty quickly as soon as I'm removed from the ice water. The second item is animals were exposed to a powerful cancer-causing chemical. One group, of course, again, were fed a diet with vitamin E. No, actually, in this case, they were fed 4 antioxidants, one of them being vitamin E. And the other group was not. And the group that was not fed the vitamin E developed twice as many tumors as the group that was fed vitamin E. This is amazing stuff. So what it's saying here is that even when you're exposed to a highly reactive, I guess that's the right word, highly reactive chemical that can cause you to get cancer, that with enough antioxidants in your system, and assuming that you're in fairly good health and you're practicing healthy lifestyle choices, like getting enough exercise, watching your balance, not eating, not drinking, overdoing alcohol, and that can bring down your immune system, then you're pretty much going to prevent or minimize the effect that that will have on your body, so that you don't suffer with cancer at all, or if you do, it would be a non-aggressive cancer that can be easily treated. Just think about that. This is amazing stuff. And the third item is clusters of rat brain cells in a test tube show signs of severe structural degeneration after 40 days. When similar clusters were held in a culture supplemented with vitamin E, the cells were still well preserved and structurally sound after 40 days. I mean, that just sums it all up. Vitamin E is truly an amazing vitamin. Lastly, vitamin E helps to minimize lung damage due to air pollution. And by the way, getting enough vitamin A in your system as a supplement or in food does the same thing. It helps to protect the lungs from pollution. So, but vitamin E is definitely a key part of that formula. So I'd like to talk about what I learned about vitamin E more recently. And that is that vitamin E has antiangiogenic properties. So you might ask, so what is angiogenesis? Angiogenesis is the abnormal growth of blood vessels. Cancer needs a large blood supply to grow and continue to grow into, well, to grow from cancer nodules, which are about the size of the point of a ballpoint pen, of which we have many in our bodies. For those nodules to turn into cancer cells, you need a blood supply. Well, cancer needs a blood supply. And how that happens is through inflammation, not making the right healthy lifestyle choices, not listening to my video and following my suggestions, because those suggestions work well for me, and so I pass them on to you. But cancer needs a strong blood supply. And so what vitamin E does, because it is an antiangiogenic, is that it starves cancer of the blood that it needs. So it never grows. It just starves it to death. And that is the power of vitamin E. So I like to say that vitamin E has been one of the best kept secrets of the decades, and I provided it here for you so that you can benefit from this information and start taking, if you choose, some for yourself. So I wish you the best of health, and remember that this information will also be in my app, Healthy LC, one word, HEALTH LC. Good luck to you, and thank you for listening.